There's a cap right there. Oh man, I hope that those two corals recover, man. What's going on, everybody? We got a video today from the coral quarantine tank that is right over there. Not such a good thing. We got something going on in that tank that we're gonna work on getting it out of there. I got some tips and help from people around and got people's opinions on what they think it is. So without further ado, let's get this done. Let's eradicate this so the coral are gonna be a healthy, alive, all that good stuff. Let's go.
Check out the slimy, mucusy looking stuff on the egg crate. That is the issue in question. Dino, known as Dinoflagellates.
All right, check that out. Look at all of the hair algae on these frags right here. These are acans, and you can see where the skeleton is exposed to light is where it is growing. Now, if you look at all of these over here, it's these main three right here. This one in the back does get it sometimes, but these ones, when they're full, that skeleton is not exposed. And as you can see, these ones don't have that hair algae on them. We're gonna take care of this though. What we're using is some hydrogen peroxide, and it has to be the 3%. You'll see it here on the back. So this also needs to come up to temperature. So make sure that it matches your tank water temperature. So we're just gonna pour some of this in here like that, and then get ready to dip them.
So like I mentioned about getting the hydrogen peroxide up to water temperature, what you could do is you could put it in a bag or in a cup or something and let it float inside your tank water so that it warms up. Then start dipping the acans. Now you want to do this, don't dip them longer than 2 minutes. So set a timer, let them sit in there for 2 minutes. Then you want to use a turkey baster and go ahead and spray some water on it or a toothbrush to clean them.
Look what I found. Looks like vermitid snails right there and right there. Shoot, and I think maybe on that plug there. I'm gonna put some glue over them. All right, so check that out. Got them covered up with some glue, the few that look like they might have had it on there, and that one in the back right there. Okay, so check that out. You see that gross mucusy looking stuff? That is the dino that I'm currently dealing with here inside the coral quarantine tank. You can see that it is in a lot of different spots. Now this is nothing like it was because I have been working on trying to get it to go away, but as you can see, it is definitely in lots of parts of this aquarium right now, which is not good, and I do not want this to end up inside of the display tank. Look at that. See that right there on that acan coral? There's some dino right there on its polyp. And if we go check on the other ones, you can see like under there, there's just a little bit in spots here and there. So now check this out. If you look over in this corner here, look at all of that stuff that is waving around in the egg crate. There is some more that's back over there. Now there was a lot less in here the other day, but I turned the lighting back on because the corals do need lights. So I'm still battling with this issue. Here is the 5-gallon bucket that I'm going to use. So what I'm doing is I got 2 of my filter socks, stack them up, and we're going to get this hose. We're going to put that hose in here and then start siphoning the water out of the tank.
All right, so now we are using that hose and we're getting any bit of the dinos that may still be on the egg crate out of the aquarium. Now this isn't much at all, as you can see, but we will go over more in detail after.
Now that we got the water through the filter socks, we're gonna pour this water back into the tank. So the other step that I'm doing here is I'm adding some live nitrifying bacteria to the tank once a day, cap full, maybe a smidge more, just because you need good, strong, beneficial bacteria to be able to outcompete the dino. There's a cap right there. But that'll get going all over into the tank and boost that so that it will outcompete the dino in this tank. Let's go ahead and check out the filter socks now to see what they look like. These little clips are super nice to have for when you're doing stuff like this. Okay, so I did 2 socks, so in hopes that if it doesn't catch everything, that second sock will help. So first of all, let's look down in here. As you can see, that is pretty clean. So it caught most of it on the first pass. Now, stuff is going to get through no matter what. So to say this is the way to get it, all that, you know, that slime and stuff out, no, I don't think so. I think stuff's going to make it through. But here is the sock with all the junk. So there's a mixture of some normal algae that I pulled off in some spots, but you know, that's all gunk that came out, and hopefully that's going to help get the tank to recover faster. Let's check it out. I did make a mistake though. Disclaimer, I will show you shortly. So here we go. And now if you look inside, you can see that, let's see, let me zoom in better. There we go. There we go. So, I mean, you can see that there's still some there. I definitely feel like I got some out of the aquarium. Some little particles floating around there. But remember how bad it was in that corner? So, I mean, I feel like I did get some of that slime out of the tank. Now here is the disclaimer. Okay, so now this torch with the yellow tips and then this green one right over in the center between the two in the back. So when I was siphoning in here with the hose, it creates a pretty powerful siphon. I didn't really move them much. I kind of just went around them, and yeah, I got lazy and I wasn't paying close attention, and the polyps on both of these tentacles got sucked up into here. Oh man, I hope that those 2 corals recover, man. Huge mistake. So disclaimer, move all of your corals to one end, clean it, and then move them all back. I just thought, you know, going around all of these guys that aren't having any extension is not one thing, but you wouldn't believe how easy it is to forget that these guys can get sucked right into here. Check out the cleaner shrimp down over there. Okay, so if you look here, here's that one with the yellow tips, and then in between the 2 in the back, there's that green one. These were the 2 that the tentacles got sucked up into the hose, and as you can see, they look to be doing okay, which is a huge relief. Okay, so let's go and talk about dinos a little bit. I am no expert at dinos. This is something that I had for the first time. It definitely is not something you want, so definitely know that it is likely going to take as long as it took to show up for it to go away. But you could definitely take some precautions. So dinos is photosynthetic. It needs light, right? Now, one thing that I did do was I wrapped the tank. So as you're able to see, that covered it up really good. So I did 3 days of blackout on the tank. So it did not allow for any light to go in there, because again, light and dinos, that's a combination that works for the dinos to grow. You don't want that. So I blacked out the tank for 3 days. On those 3 days, I did add the beneficial bacteria to the tank once a day. After the 3rd day, took it off. Actually, let's backtrack. I had it wrapped. The end of the 1st day, I went in there and cleaned all the algae out just like I did today. Cleaned it all out, got all the gunk and junk out of there just so it was not in there, because you want to get it out of the aquarium. Now, again, you don't want to be doing water changes all the time, because Dinos thrives on low nitrates and low phosphates. So if you're going to continue to change and add new water when you don't have anything pooping in the tank, then guess what? You're lowering them even more, which is going to add to the problem. So what you want to do is things like, when you do a water change on your display tank, add water from the display tank as the water change in here. So you're adding all of that water that's got, you know, fish waste and stuff like that into the tank. So it's going to keep those levels up, you know, so that again, you are allowing for the dino to not thrive in the environment that it needs to thrive in. So I did reach out to some people and got some really helpful information on what to do. Like I said, you do that water change with the display tank water because you want to keep your nitrates and phosphates, you know, up, because they can't be too low or else the dino's not going to go away. Now, when I'm going to do a water change with fresh, clean salt water, what I need to do is add something like amino acids to the tank, because again, you want to keep those levels up. So that you can beat it. So I think today was a good start to go ahead and just suck as much of the gunk off of the egg crate as possible.
Now, you see that and go, that's not much at all. This video clip is not the highest quality, but I'm gonna show you anyway. Look at how bad it was. As you're able to see, it was a mixture of dinos, and it was a mixture of, I think, hair algae. I mean, it was disgusting. It was just gross. I thought it was hair algae to start with. Rookie mistake. But it turned out that there was a lot of that was dinos. So I am behind the 8 ball, as you would say, because, well, yeah, I didn't react the way it should have. So anyway, this tank is in the process of recovering from dinos. Now, I want to add these coral to the tank so bad, but the problem is I'm afraid to add them to the tank because what if there's any remnants of the dino on there? I don't know. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to work, but my thought process without researching, so don't take this, this is just me thinking out loud, is that, well, since this tank is fully established, I mean, this tank over here has been running for over a year. I mean, it is established. Parameters are good on this tank. So if I was to add something, let's say I cleaned the base of the coral, I cleaned the skeleton of the coral and everything, and I put it in there. If there was a trace of something, it probably would just die right away because, or it wouldn't thrive and it would just die because that tank is established and really stable. Again, that's me thinking out loud. I don't know if that's true. So I treated the tank as if it was dino. What we did again was we wrapped the tank in a nice dark blanket so no light would penetrate down into the aquarium, because again, you don't want light that is going to cause photosynthetic algae and things to grow. You want to dark it out. So at the end of every day, I poured in some of that beneficial bacteria, again, to raise that in the tank to outcompete that dinos. So we did that, and then among some other things of cleaning it like you guys seen in the video. So man, I'm glad we're getting this thing under control, and it's not gonna wipe out the tank. It's not gonna cause any problems, it looks like. So man, I am super happy about that. Now, I got some awesome stuff coming up. We got coral coming in that are gonna blow your mind. If you want to see those, definitely subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll get emailed as soon as that video comes out. I'm telling you guys, the coral is absolute fire. It is insane how awesome it is. So now, positive note to end the video on dinos is we got that coral coming. The tank is looking much better. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff down below. Want to read your comments. Stay tanked.